Today we're going to introduce the work of William Blake, which is a very interesting character, as he was a writer but also an artist. He was really a genius. He also influenced a lot of artists in the late 18th century and 19th century. His works are characterized of blending the spiritual and the material, but having in mind or taking inspiration in the insight of the human condition. Sometimes it's also a has this critical vision of society. Since he is a romantic writer, he hates whatever is the Industrial Revolution, because it means that it's materialism or rationalism, that it's a very material world. That's why, as all the romantics, prefer Middle Ages, which is very spiritual time. Talking about literature, he wrote this book, Themes of Innocence and Experience. In this book, he mixes up words and drawings, and he's one of the best artists who can blend both languages into one and coherent work. And he, in this book he studies, or he considers the contrast of the states of the human soul, opposing purity and harsh realities of life. Symbolism in Blake's work, it is really very important, and it's also very rich. He uses some mythical figures and archetypes to convey deeper meanings, as for example Urizen, which is this guy here, that symbolizes reason. Instead, loss represents imagination. So the duality really enriches the interpretation of his works. What are his techniques? Artistic techniques, obviously. Well, he used to work a lot with etching, and he also used to work with watercolors. Another very interesting technique, it's monotypes. Monotypes, as the Greek word mono, which means one, he used to draw on a table, or you lay some painting on a table, and then with the paper he used to press the paper in order to have the painting attached to the paper. That is why it's called monotypia, because it's just once. Actually, sometimes you can make it twice or thrice, but it never will be the same. Okay? Okay. For Blake, the role of imagination is very important. It's like a vital force, either in art and poetry. He believed that only imagination could transcend the mundane, the materialist world, and to have access to deeper truths that otherwise we wouldn't know. He's also very critical with its society, with his own society. For example, he considers social injustice, oppression, and as I mentioned before, the loss of spirituality in the face of the industrial progress. So this materialism that is winning over the spiritual world. His poetry and his art question the social norms and seek deeper truths. This painting is Satan smiting Job with sore boils. In this painting, it's a watercolor. We can see Satan with these bat wings that it's pouring this sort of liquid to make Job have sore boils. This is a representation of Job's book, that it's a biblical book, and Job has to endure many trials in order to prove his faith in God. At the end, after having lost his children, his richness, his health, and everything, he still is loyal to God, and then God sort of wins over Satan, and Job becomes again rich and gets his children and everything back. Well, this is the biblical story in a very, very short explanation. Anyway, this is Satan. As you can see, this idea of a strong man that reminds Michelangelo that it's stepping on Job's body. You can see by this gesture that Job is in pain. We can see his hands that are arched, and we can see that he is really in pain. We can see these black clouds here in the foreground, that someone says that it reminds the smoke, the black smoke that industries produce. So that could be coherent with his idea of the industries, the materialism that it's against the human people, the humanity. We can see the sun with these circle lines that remind a little bit of these clouds and of Saturn wings. Clearly, this woman is Job's wife, that it's, as you can see, is bent, twisted in pain, probably crying, seeing the pain of his beloved husband. And in the back, we can see a city that it has a very non-natural colors. It's all in green and blue, probably to contrast all these warm colors that we have in the first plane. So in this painting we can see the strength of Saturn over the poor body of Job, and in a very powerful and meaningful expression. The last painting we're going to see, it's a watercolor that from La Divina Commedia di Dante, which is a book that you all know, and so it's gonna be easier to remember and to find the meaning of it. So this is a griffon, that means it's Christ. For Dante, the griffon is Christ, that it's leading a car that is the church. So Jesus is leading the car of the church. On the top of the car we can see Beatrix. Beatrix has a crown, not an olive crown or laurel crown like it should be in Dante's book, but a really gold crown, because remember Blake, as all the romantic, or many romantic artists, hated everything that was related to the neoclassical world. So that's why he prefers to crown her in a gold crown. We can see the three women. This is faith, this is charity or love, and this is hope. So the three virtues, faith, love or charity, and hope. We can see the four gospel writers. So we can see the eagle is John, the lion is Mark, the bull is Luke, and the angel is Matthew. You can see this car is actually, it seems like a wheel, and you can see some eyes on it, and it's like, for according to Blake, this was like a gate to paradise, like an entrance to paradise to get inside. You can see this is very bright and very lightful and very different from maybe the painting we have analyzed before. But as you can see, we can find all symbols, not just the traditional ones, but also those who Blake has invented for his own narration. And that's it. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next.